Well, hello everyone, and welcome along to what is basically the penultimate round of the AOR F2 League on PS4 here in Abu Dhabi. And yes, it was of course meant to be the final round of this World Championship, but of course we missed out on the Singapore Grand Prix, and that will be run next weekend. Well, we're all set for qualifying, and of course, as we know, Curly Wurly is your World Champion, but there's still plenty to play for as the season heads towards its climax. And of course, all these drivers fighting hard for a place in the top tier next year on the PS4, and of course a lot of drivers trying to stake a claim for that. Curly's looking pretty good for that at the moment, of course, wrapping up that championship and a brilliant win last time out as well, and really looking like again the man to beat this weekend. But a lot of the Dutch drivers in particular have been threatening on, the likes of Flores, the likes of Gemzo, and Diego Keller on the odd occasion has looked quick as well. And it's going to be quite interesting to see who will reign supreme here in the desert in Abu Dhabi. Well, as I said, the penultimate round of this World Championship. I think it's the only league actually in the whole of PlayStation, and the whole of Xbox or PC that has a final race after this one. So, yep, Singapore coming up next week as well. So don't be sure to tune into that one. Don't just forget about us here on F2. But the car's coming down the pit lane now, heading out for the qualifying laps, and most of them probably going on to those ultra soft tyres. As you can see, they're all heading out now onto the track on their out laps on ultra soft tyres. But let's take a few moments as they all begin these out laps to have a look at the driver standings. And as I said already, Curly Wurly has wrapped up that World Championship, and they're not loading up these championship standings. Come on, load up for me. But yes, Curly Wurly has of course wrapped up the World Championship. He wrapped it up a few rounds ago in Mexico City, so no drama at all for him. And actually, you know what, it's not even loading up for me, these driver standings. I don't know what's happened. There we go, we've got them now. Curly Wurly on top of the driver standings, 216 points, 110 clear of anyone else. And yeah, 216 points on the board, 110 clear of Gemzo in second, who's 106. And then a little battle be going on here. He's also level on 106 with Sam, who's gone off the boil lately. Sixth, his best result in the last 4 races, so he's also on 106. Then fourth in the standings with 90 points is Theo, and Diego Keller right behind him on 89 points, 1 point between them. Then it's Iceman on 85 points, and then 78 points you've got Flores and F1 Dan, they both on 78. Then in 9th position is RC Googs, and Pitmat rounding out the top 10 of the standings. So back to the guys on the racetrack. Let's have a little look at Davidos as he heads down towards the end of the lap here in Abu Dhabi under the lights. And of course the race tomorrow will take place in twilight conditions, where of course they start in daylight and move into the dark as what would usually be the sunset on the season. But of course, as I've mentioned at the top of the show, we head to Singapore for the final round next week. But they're all out there looking for space to get their laps in as Davidos goes underneath the hotel, a fantastic structure. And it was all built here back in 2009 for the opening race. All man-made, a man-made island, this Yas Island, where the track is situated on. And here we go then, Davidos round the final corner, heading round. And this is not really helping him at all. This slowly waiting to get round. He'll be wanting to build temperature in his tyres before starting a flying lap. Now he's starting it, and his tyres will be absolutely freezing cold. So down into turn 1 goes Davidos, left-hander, and now into turn 2, quite similar, but it follows into a high-speed turn 3. Absolutely flat out through here, the Red Bull singing its heart out as he heads down onto the brakes at the end of that very short first sector through that tight little chicane, and now down into the hairpin. It's like a stadium section, like a bowl section, all the fans in the grandstand watching on. It's a great view. I recommend going down there to watch in practice if you get a chance to go to this Grand Prix. And Davidos now opens up the DRS, one of 2 DRS detection zones on the racetrack, and heads down at this long back straight, one of the longest in the Formula 1 calendar, and hits the brakes for yet another tight chicane with another large grandstand. One of the big overtaking opportunities in the race. And if you can't get the move done, you can do it down this straight into the next chicane that follows as Curly Wurly sets the first time on the board, a 1:37.015. But here we go, Davidos at the end of that second sector now, through this triple chicane, I like to call it. And then now into what is a pretty tight and twisty single file really final sector of the lap. A lot of 90-degree rights and lefts in this section, but it's sweeping down the hill now in towards the hotel section. 90 right followed by a couple of 90 lefts as he negotiates his way underneath the hotel, as Diego Keller now goes fastest with a 1:36.767. We'll stay with Davidos and complete a lap of this circuit. 2 final right-handers, 90 degree to go. and he heads through them now and heads for the start-finish line. What can the Polish driver do? In the Red Bull, he goes up to 4th quickest, a 1:37.256. So Davidos goes 4th, but it's Diego Killer who's on top at the moment with that 1:37.767. He's on top. Gemzo 2nd, Cully Worley 3rd, Pitmat 4th, Davidos is 5th, Elite Game Boy 6th, Guy the Guy 7th, Dan the Snake is 8th, Iceman 9th, Caribbean Crush 10th, and Theo is 11th as we ride on board with Sam, who's in a fight for that runners-up spot in the championship, rounding the final corner. He's been off the boil of late. Can he try and climb himself back up the order? He can go 2nd quickest. That's a great effort from Sam. Where does that come from? We've not seen any sort of pace from him recently, but he's found it today, and look at that. Goes 2nd quickest, and that's quickly becoming the star of qualifying there. Great effort, and I'm a bit surprised by that. He's not been showing any real pace up until now. So good effort from Sam, as Cully Worley now lowers the bar further, a 1:36.609, and look at that, he is looking ominous, the world champion showing what he is made of. What about Diego Keller on another quick lap? Guy the Guy moves aside. Here comes the Dutchman. Is he completing it? Or is he coming in? No, he's going to complete it. Cherry Tupai now goes to the top of the timesheets. 1:36.3. That's a surprise. Diego Keller cannot match it and goes up to 3rd. But he's not quick enough to beat Cully Worley. But where is Cherry Tupai and the Force India pulled that from? What a time! Even Cully Worley's looking at himself in disbelief. The Renault mechanics cannot believe what they're seeing. Cherry Tupai 3/10 quicker than the rest of the field. Well, where does that come from? Has he been sandbagging all season? Goodness me. Well done to him. Fantastic effort. And that has created a few shockwaves up and down the pit lane. And Cherry Tupai, the Scotsman, moves to the top of the timing sheets. What about the H-Eagle? He's coming round the final corner to complete his first representative time of the afternoon. Where does it put him? Well, he was 15th with no time, and he's now 14th with a time. So last of those with a time. So nothing special there from the H-Eagle, the German driver. What about the Brain? He's been in the thick of the action at the sharp end. And in recent weeks he's enjoyed the damp qualifying sections that we've had in Mexico and in Brazil and the USA. All suiting the Brain, but dry conditions obviously here in the desert. And is that going to help him at all? What can he do on this flying lap as he starts one now? Here we go then, through turn 1 in the Haas car. What can the German do? But let's have another run down of the order. There you go, there's the gaps between them. Cherry Tupai on top by almost 3/10. Then Diego Keller in 3rd behind Curly Worley. Sam and Gemzo 4th and 5th, around half a second off the pace. Then Pitmat 8/10 back in 6th. Davidos 9/10 off in 7th. And Elite Game Boy a second back with Guy the Guy behind him in 9th. Dan the Snake 10th. A really close battle between those three on the fringes of the top 10. Iceman 11th, Caribbean Crush 12th, Theo 13th, and the H-Eagle 14th of the 14 drivers to set a time thus far. So here goes the Brain on his first flying lap of the afternoon so far. What can the German do as he hits the brakes and goes through that tight chicane and now heads down another straight towards the end of that second sector. DRS open now on the Haas, the Ferrari engine in the back of that, and as you can see the Brain being German with some German colours on that helmet, some red, yellow and black. Good to see the drivers showing their national pride as the Brain now heads through that final sector, climbing up through the gears. 4th becomes 5th, up to 6th, flat out through here, and then it's very difficult to pick a braking point down here because you're almost turning as you hit the brakes for that corner. It's very easy to lock a wheel, but the Brain keeping things all under control as he heads towards the final couple of corners. Underneath the hotel he goes, and can the Haas pop up into the top 5 or 6 positions? One more corner for the Brain. Here in Abu Dhabi, what's he going to do? The Brain for the line, currently 16th, he goes 6th. Solid effort from the German driver. And it's 6th place for him. So the Brain goes 6th quickest. Who else we got out there? On a quick lap, we've got Theo down in 14th place at the moment, about to start one I think. Caribbean Crush about to start one, coming across the line now. And who else we got out there on a one? But it's actually these two really, Theo and Caribbean Crush, that are on about to start quick ones. So we'll keep an eye on those two. Theo, we know he's capable of being much higher up the order than 14th, so he will be one to watch as he heads through the turn 1 in that Ferrari, the Greek driver, climbing up through the gears, through turn 2 and then the high speed turn 3. Very, very easy to run wide and bounce off the track and do a Vitaly Petrov from Malaysia 2011. You don't want to be doing that. The big bump. If you run off the racetrack there, you could end up with a broken steering column, and possibly worse, you could end up with a shattered back, such as how low you are in the Formula 1 car. Very, very low to the ground, and it's very easy to get a sore one bouncing over the curbs or bouncing high into the air on this racetrack. So here goes Theo down towards the braking zone at the end of that long max straight. Through the chicane he goes, and as you can see, moving himself right over to the left to give himself as good a slingshot as he can. Down at this back straight, the fans in the grandstand cheering on the Ferrari, probably the best supported team in Formula 1. Everywhere we go in this sport, you see Ferrari flags flying. Big supporters of Maranello's finest all around the globe. As Cherry Tupai and Curly Wurley are now on outlaps, but we'll stick with Theo for now. What can he do in that Ferrari? Heading now down towards the hotel section. Through the right-hander, and now underneath that little walkway he goes, and I've stood up there before and watched the action. It's quite a good view to watch from there, actually. Nice and close aerial view of the drivers working at the wheel as Theo backs out of his lap. So we'll have a look at Caribbean Crush. They've started another one. He's gone 13th, 1.1 off the pace. But let's have a look further through the field. Let's see the guys at the sharp end. Curly Wurley about to wind one up. Diego Killer still in third position, starting a flying lap. We've got Sam out there pushing. What can he do? He's certainly on a quick one. He's half a second away from the pole at the moment. We know Jameso's capable too, in fifth position. So all these drivers worth watching. We wait for Cherry Tupai, Curly Wurley and Diego Killer to get round, but these guys are going to see the checker flag first, I would think. Maybe Sam will have time for another lap. Whether he has the fuel or the tyres to do it, I'm not sure. Here we go, Sam heading underneath the hotel. Now he goes left once more, gets in the throttle nice and early, stay away from the wall on the right hand side. Now open up the corner, use as much curb on the way in. One corner to go then for Sam, currently fourth quickest, fighting for the runners up spot in the championship. Can he put it onto the front row? Here goes Sam for the line. He stays fourth but improves and consolidates fourth position. Who else is out there? We've got Diego Killer winding one up. We've got Jameso in the final sector. Guy the Guy on 1-2. Pit Mat. These guys all at the start of their laps. What about Elite Game Boy? He's near the end. In 10th at the moment. Can he improve on that current 10th position? Heading round the penultimate corner towards the final corner. Caribbean Crush will not do any better than 13th. Elite Game Boy now for the line. He goes 10th quickest. No, he goes 5th quickest. Sorry, I'm busy looking at the wrong side of the screen. What about Cherry Tupai and Curly Wurley? They're not that far round yet. Let's have a look at Jameso. He's coming round the final corner. Currently set quickest. What can the Dutchman do? He takes pole. A late run for the line. And the Flying Dutchman goes quickest. Denies Cherry Tupai the pole. Or does he? He sees the checker flag. Diego Killer now denies Jameso, his fellow countryman. A 1:36.1 to go quickest. Curly and Cherry Tupai knocked up the front row. Curly goes again and goes third quickest. 1 and a bit 10 shy. Unbelievable end to the section. Damados goes fifth. What about Cherry Tupai? Has he got a late answer for the Dutch charge? Diego Killer, Jameso and Curly Wurley all knocking him off his perch. But the Force India driver is determined to put this on pole. Here, and he's run wide. He's ruined the lap. He's ruined the lap. Into the wall he goes. And surely all hopes of pole have been dashed. Cherry Tupai looks so promising, and it's ended in tears. And all of a sudden Diego looks certain for the pole position. Who else is out there that can deny him? What about Pit Mat? No, he's abandoned too. And that rounds off this qualifying session. A quick blitz in the finish from the Dutchman to displace what was a Cherry Tupai Curly Wurley front row. And in the end, it ended up Diego Killer pipping Jameso in a very, very closely contested battle at the sharp end of the action. Absolutely thrilling qualifying session. And boy oh boy, this is set up for a brilliant race tomorrow. As I said in qualifying, I mentioned a few places you can overtake on this circuit. It is easy to follow, and it promises to be, going by what I've seen so far in qualifying, a spectacular race. Things looking really well poised for the race tomorrow. But it is Diego Killer who puts it on pole, and it continues to show what he's capable of, and tries to threaten himself with a chance at an AOR F1 gig next season. He beats Jameso by just under a tenth of a second. Curly Wurley had a late run to try and displace him. It wasn't enough. He got to within a tenth and a bit of him, but it wasn't quite enough. But there you go, Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, round 20 of the championship, your qualifying results. It's Diego Killer on pole for Toro Rosso with a 1:36.1. just under a tenth quicker than Gemso in second. Curly Wurly, your world champion, set star. I don't think he'll be too fussed, given he's wrapped up the title long ago. Cherry Tupai is 4th for Force India. A solid effort from him. He'll be wondering if it could have been better after that mistake on his final run. Davidos the pole sets 5th. Good effort from him. Sam is 6th. Slight improvement on recent performances there. Iceman is 7th. Elite Game Boy 8th. RC Googs is 9th, and the Brain qualifies in 10th. It's Theo 11th. Guy the Guy in 12th. Dan the Snake starts 13th. Pitmap 14th. Caribbean Crush 15th. H Eagle and Flores rounding up the back of the grid. Well, as you would expect, dry conditions have greeted us for the Grand Prix here in Abu Dhabi, but we don't need any rain to spice this one up. The top 4 drivers separated by less than 0.2 of a second in qualifying, and I can assure you that sets us up for a thrilling race here today. Well, who's it going to be? Will it be our world champion picking up the victory once again, or will it be the guys threatening for a position to knock him off his perch maybe next season? Is it going to be Cherry Tupai, who's put in a great qualifying performance yesterday, out of the blue, it has to be said, but then again, the Force India guys have been getting quicker and quicker, but that was a real great lap from him. Or will it be the 2 Dutchmen, as we've seen already, Diego Keller and Gemso, really looking quick? Gemso pushing Curly Wurly all the way last week in Brazil. Is this his race here today? We're going to find out as we get ready for the start of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The 5 lights are on here in the desert nights. Lights out, and away we go. Diego Keller away from pole, gets the ideal start. Gemso second. Curly Wurly threatening into turn 1 and 3rd. He's having a look up the inside, and he's making it stick on Gemso. Diego Keller, the perfect start. Gemso fighting back in that battle for second. They go side by side, but Diego Keller holds the perfect start. A dream start for him. He leads. Gemso fends off Curly for second. All clean in behind that as they funnel their way through turns 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now Curly Wurly fights again. Gemso running a little bit wide there, and it looks like Curly might have got the upper hand. They go side by side, exiting the hairpin, but it is a perfect start. Diego Keller in the lead, Curly Wurly second, now slipstreaming each other down this long back straight, and already Curly Wurly has got ahead of Gemso. Gemso fighting back though, side by side. Look at Davidos trying to get involved. Very nearly sliding his way in there, but Curly looks to have fended off Gemso for now. Gemso sticks his nose in somewhere. It was always going to disappear, that gap, and he goes round into a spin, and from looking like contending for victory, he'll do well to score points. Into a spin goes Gemso, down to the foot of the field, but it's a perfect start for Diego Keller out in front. He leads, Curly Wurly second, Davidos third, all sorts of action going on behind. Cherry Tupai 4th, Sam is 5th, and then look at this, absolute mayhem. Oh, and one of the Saubers there, I think that was Dan the Snake in the background sliding off the track. But look at this little battle. We've got, is it Iceman, the Brain and Theo, all closely packed there, but look at Diego Keller's lead. 2.2 seconds already, the perfect start. But yeah, look at Diego Keller, 2.1 ahead of Curly Wurly in second. Davidos is 3rd, Cherry Tupai is 4th, RC Sam is 5th, Iceman in 6th, The Brain 7th, Theo 8th, RC Googs 9th, and Elite Game Boy in 10th. Let's give you the position changes on that opening lap. As you can see, Gemso down a full 15 places from that front row starting position. An absolute disaster for him. But meanwhile, it's out in front. Diego Keller, the perfect start. Curly Wurly up 1. Davidos up 2. Cherry Tupai unmoved from his starting position. And Sam is in 5th, up 1 place. And Iceman up 1 as well. The Brain up 3. So a good start as well for the German driver. Now we'll give you a look at the tyre choices. The top 12 all starting on the ultra soft tyres. Pitmat and the H Eagle on the super softs. Flores has gone for softs. Dan the Snake's on softs. And RC Gemso with that horrendous start is on the ultra soft compound tyre. But down this long back straight they go, and Diego Keller has got the perfect start. I just want to touch on that what we've seen a few moments ago there from Gemso. I think the Dutch drivers, Gemso in particular, I've seen it in the United League Championship quite a lot when he races. He likes to get himself involved, he likes to throw his car around, and I think maybe he was just a little bit too opportunistic on the inside, had a look, and the gap was always going to disappear, and in the end it ended in tears. This guy, the guy now, is battling hard with Caribbean Crush and Elite Game Boy there over 10th, 11th and 12th. Quite a nice little battle between those guys, but out in front it is all about Diego Keller stretching his advantage to 2.6 seconds and looking really, really good out in front. So a few people saying Curly maybe should have waited there, but I disagree. I don't know about that. Let us know in the comments what the thoughts were with Curly and Gemso. I personally thought that Gemso went into a gap that was always going to disappear. Maybe it's one to watch back, maybe one for the stewards. But if you're watching in the stream, give us your comments. Let us know. We're always free to discuss it. We always like to discuss incidents on the racetrack and keep ourselves entertained as we watch Sam entertain us now, right up behind Cherry 2 Pie as we go through that high speed turn 3. And Cherry 2 Pie, as I said in qualifying, running wide onto that bump there. Not something you want to be doing. Very uncomfortable for the car and for yourself sitting in it. Sitting very low in the car, and that will be shuddering him as he sits in that car. So Sam in 5th, Cherry 2 Pie in 4th, and Davidos in 3rd as they all duel down at this back straight on lap 3 out of 28. And Cherry 2 Pie actually moving into position to attack Davidos. Is the Polish driver going to be threatened here? Oh, look how close that is. Surely Cherry 2 Pie is going to be having a great run out of here. Down this long straight they will go. Cherry 2 Pie moving into position. The DRS open on the Force India. Mercedes power taking on Red Bull power. He dives for the inside. Surely Cherry 2 Pie will complete the move. He outbreaks the Polish driver. Moves up into 3rd position. And Davidos has no answer. He drops to 4th. Lovely move from Cherry 2 Pie. And through he goes up into the podium places. Well, he showed what he was made of in qualifying yesterday. He was hoping and dreaming of a front row. It didn't quite materialise, but it was still a lovely move there on Davidos. And his dreams of a podium finish are back alive here in Abu Dhabi. Brilliant move, and the pole has to think again. He drops down to 4th place, but Diego out front now opening up a 3-second advantage. Ideal for him. So Cherry 2 Pie lighting up the rear tyres there coming out of that corner. Look at the train of cars all battling here. Cherry 2 Pie, Davidos, Sam, Iceman, the Brain, Theo, Googs. They're all in a massive train of cars as Caribbean Crush has made a call to come into the pits and retire. He's got damaged front wing there, so maybe the suspension was damaged or something. Dan the Snake is also out of this race, of course, and Flores is fighting from what must have been a qualifying ban back through the field. And he's got a lot of work to do from down there. It's been a scrappy couple of races for Flores, it has to be said. So back to that battle. It's been raging for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Look at them all following each other down the straight. Cherry 2 Pie moving to the left hand side of the racetrack to try and protect his advantage and try and break that toe that everyone else is picking up behind him. Because that move there from the Brain, it is the Brain and Iceman getting their elbows out and dueling side by side. The Brain coming back at Iceman now. They go side by side towards the brakes at the end of this long straight. Here we go then, and now look at Davidos in front of that having a little look, but almost 3 wide now between the Brain, Iceman and Theo. And look at this, oh, banging wheels, hand out the cockpit from the Brain. The German forced up the track, Iceman's through, and now Theo's up the inside as well. And Theo, the Greek driver, passes the Brain. A nightmare couple of corners for the Brain, and now RC Goods tries to get involved and very nearly finds a way past the Brain. What a chill that is. And the Brain pushed out there by Iceman, and in the end lost out to Theo as well. But fantastic action going on in the midfield. Great scrap, but the Brain loses out and Theo climbs up into that 7th position now. And look at that in front, the battle for the final podium spot hotting up. There might not be any champagne at stake here, it might only be rosewater in Abu Dhabi, but these drivers, boy oh boy, they want it, they don't care, they want the trophy, the rosewater. And now Davidos runs wide, and now Sam will have a look. The Frenchman on the attack, climbing up through turn 3. Davidos will have to defend. He runs very, very wide. Now Sam's got a chance. Can he swoop right round the outside of him? He's going to try it. They rub wheels, but Sam pulls off a stunning move. Sweeps round the outside of the Polish driver as if he wasn't even there, and moves up into 4th position to strengthen his grip in what would be 2nd place in this World Championship. That is what he's fighting for, and that was a lovely move. Davidos made the error. He set it up beautifully and moved up into 4th position. And there's Davidos coming back at him though, on the brakes in the Red Bull, into the straight, not quite close enough. He remains in 5th place. Well, Davidos, he's seen himself climb up to 3rd from the start, and now he's been dropped back down into 5th place. Not at all what he would have been hoping for. Meanwhile, out in front, Diego Keller has now opened up a 4.3 second lead on Carly Warley. He is showing some serious pace. Where is he finding this? Absolutely incredible pace from Diego Keller, showing Carly Warley what he's capable of. And if he'd shown that earlier in the season, he might have been threatening for this World Championship. Let's have a little look at the Brain as he tries to get past RC Hughes in a little battle there. Over 8th and 9th. The Brain running a little bit wide there, and that drops him off a little bit. And now into the clutches of the Renault behind of Elite Game Boy, who's looking really feisty up behind him. A couple of little battles going on. We've got a battle for the podiums places and a battle in the lower reaches of the top 10. As you can see, the gap between the Red Bull and the Ferrari on that straight there, separating those two battles. Theo in 7th and Googs in 8th, about 2 seconds between them. Oh, is that the Brain running wide? It is. And that might allow Elite Game Boy to have a chance here, but he gets a huge kick of oversteer going through turn 2. Yeah, that hasn't bothered him though. He's going to come flying back at him. Can he do what Sam did in the previous lap? No, he can't. And has to settle in behind the Brain for now. But a fantastic race going on here. Is Sam now for Cherry Tupai going side by side. I have to cut back to that. It's a battle higher up through the field, and this podium battle continues to intensify. Mercedes power versus Mercedes power. Sam now, the Frenchman, moves past Cherry Tupai, and as he's taking that final podium spot away, it looks like he is. Cherry Tupai will try and get the better exit and give himself the ideal run going down this straight, but it doesn't look like he's got the exit, and Sam is away and gone into the distance. Maybe at the end of the straight can close, can he? A little look at the brakes. Ooh, he brakes late, but not late enough. And through he goes. So, what about that little battle between the Brain? Oh, look at that. Absolute mayhem. 3 or 4 cars all dueling for position. Is that James trying to come back through the field? He's going side by side with Elite Game Boy. And is he making that move on Elite Game Boy? Oh, I think he has. Side by side they go. We go to the helicopter cam, and Elite Game Boy not interested in giving it up. I think he's going to have to though, and James moves up into 12th position. It's going to be good fun watching him charge back through the field after that spin. I can assure you that. He does love some close combat racing. He likes to take risks, and he's on a charge back up into 12th position already then. Elite Game Boy is in a disastrous lap. He's dropped right out of the points, out of contention, and right down the field as Iceman is the first driver to make a pit stop. Here we go then, Iceman into the pits, and away he goes, back down the pit lane on a set of soft compound tyres. Elite Game Boy's coming in too, and is he going for a set of softs? No, yes he is, a set of soft tyres, and that might be a one stop possibly. We'll be interested to see if they can make the one stop work, or whether they will need 2, but these guys going long on the soft tyres for the next stint. Out in front, the AOR Killer now opening that lead out to 5.6 seconds over Curly Wurly. He looks to have this race under control, has to be said. But what about Davidos and Cherry Tupai? This race, long battle over 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th continues. But I have to say, I think Sam might just be scarpering away a little bit now in that 3rd position, making life a little bit difficult for Cherry Tupai and Davidos and Theo to chase him and still be in contention for that podium spot, because right now they are being dropped by the Flying Sam, who, as I've said already a couple of times in the show, hasn't really been up to it in recent weeks until today, and he's really showing why he is where he is in the Drivers' Championship. So Davidos, I think he's got slight front wing damage there. I think yeah, he does on that right end plate, as you can see there folks on your camera. Davidos, slight end plate damage on the Red Bull, and he's coming in for an early stop. Will he change that wing? That will be interesting to watch, as a few others have come in. Curly Wurly and Sam also coming in, and I'm going to predict a set of soft compound tyres for all these drivers. So here we go. It is a front wing change for Davidos, so that's going to be costly. And it's so agonising to sit there and watch and wait for your mechanics to change the front wing. They aren't superhuman, they do a great job, but they aren't superhuman, and obviously it takes longer to put a new front wing on and change 4 tyres than it does just to change tyres. And away goes Davidos, right down the field now, and he might actually even be behind Elite Game Boy and Flores here. That's going to be close. He's going to get lucky and get ahead of those guys, so quite fortunate there that he's ahead of those two and can gear on with his race from there. But we've got a real battle here going on. Look at this! Goodness me! And is that the Brain going side by side with James? Oh, it is. It's like Noah's Ark down there. 2 by 2 they go. And it's like Formula 4 racing. Pitmat is at the front of it. Then it's Guy the Guy. Then it's the Brain and Gemso. We're going to go 3 wide, I would think, in a few moments' time. It's Guy the Guy defending hard from his teammate and the Brain. The Brain tries to go round the outside of Guy the Guy. Can he do it? Oh, not quite. Guy the Guy holds him off. Can Guy the Guy help his teammate? Gems will get through in all this action. Not quite. Pitmat holding them all up. Pitmat 5th, Guy the Guy 6th, the Brain is 7th. And Gemso in 8th with the H-Eagle right there as well. All dueling hard for position at the moment. None of these drivers have stopped yet. This is all for position. But an interesting thing to note is that Curly, who has stopped and was running 2nd in this Grand Prix, is going to have to go through this group of cars if they don't come in. And if only 2 of them are coming in, so not good news for Curly Worley. So Cherry Tupac and Theo are making their stops now, but Curly Worley is going to get caught in traffic here unless they come into the pits soon. This is all working out for Diego Killer out in front. So can Curly find a way past the H-Eagle now? H-Eagle out of shape through turn 1 on the exit, now climbing uphill through 2. Now the long sweeping turn 3. A lot of dirty air can be gathered through there, but Curly, his car looks to be on rails and he holds his line. Up behind the H-Eagle now as they go through that little chicane and down towards the hairpin. And still he remains frustrated. And can he find a way through this time? Sam now, if Curly Worley can't find a way past these guys soon, will fancy a chance of getting involved. We've got a yellow flag, we've got Flores out of the Grand Prix. I'm not sure why, but we'll go to that in a minute. Curly Worley going side by side with the H-Eagle on the brakes. Is he going to complete the move on those fresh tyres? He sure is, and moves up into 5th place, and he is going to be net 2nd when these guys complete their stops. And through he goes. Let's have a little look at Flores' car. Has he crashed? Yes, he has crashed. Big time, off in the infield section in that first sector. So a big accident for Flores. His wretched end to the season continues, and it's just been a bit of a nightmare really in recent weeks for Flores. He's won a few, he's looked quite quick at times, and well, ever since he won in the United States it's just gone downhill, and it's just been utter chaos from that moment on. But we're right on board now with Diego Killer, who's making his pit stop from the lead of this Grand Prix. What tyres will he put on? Is he going for the 2-stop, 1-stop? It's showing up as supers there, but on the timing ladder it is super softs. Wow. Diego Killer has gone for the super softs. Surely he doesn't have the tyre life in him to take those to the finish. I would be amazed if he can. But Diego Killer heads back out there on a set of super soft tyres. Well, he's managed 10 on his ultra softs plus a qualifying lap, so maybe he can take those super softs the full 18 remaining laps to the finish. If he can, I'll be amazed, and I'll be very surprised. I'll applaud him if he can, as Curly Worley now has passed Guy the Guy and now up into 3rd place. They'll wait RC Googs, the Portuguese driver, to make his pit stop, and when he does, that will give the top 2 drivers, their lead positions back, as Guy the Guy is going really long on those ultra soft tyres. We'll wait him, we'll wait the H-Eagle, and of course, pardon me, as I mentioned, your race leader, who's yet to make a pit stop, RC Googs. But the H-Eagle and Guy the Guy look to be battling for position on similar tyres in terms of wear, so let's have a little look at these two as they go battling down on the brakes at the end of that second long straight, the second real overtaking opportunity on the circuit. H-Eagle should have the upper hand at the moment. They both started the race on the tyres they have now, but Guy the Guy being on ultras, you would think I've seen the best of their life, and that should give the H-Eagle a slight advantage when it comes to tyre life and grip. But I think Guy the Guy will be in the pits in a not too distant future, and that should free the H-Eagle into some clean air. But here we go, RC Googs has made the call for the pit, so you would think Guy the Guy will follow on this lap. And does Guy the Guy do so? Yes, he does. Guy the Guy into the pits, and that frees the H-Eagle into some clean air on those super softs, which he started the race on. How far can he take them? Can he take them 18 laps? I mean, that is the big question. If the H-Eagle can take them 18, then we know Diego Killer can. So that is going to be what to watch in the remaining laps, because everyone else has gone for a set of soft tyres that started on ultras, apart from your race leader, Diego Killer. So if he can make them last, surely he's a shoe-in for driver of the day, a class above, you would think. But out in front, extending his lead now to 7.1 seconds. Now we've got Davidos racing with RC Googs, who's just been in the pits and fitted a set of super soft tyres, and presumably taking those 17 laps to the end. So everyone seemingly going for those. So RC Googs and Diego Killer, the two drivers on that strategy. So Davidos has got his work cut out here to try and pass RC Googs, then you would think. Two Red Bull teammates, two different strategies. Certainly going to be an interesting one to watch, but I would fancy RC Googs to get a move on here and start chasing Theo down in the laps that remain, and maybe try and threaten the top 5 or 6 finish here, rather than worry about his teammate. He is on quicker tyres, and fresher ones at that as well. So RC Googs looking pretty handy, the Portuguese driver at the moment, and given he started in 9th, there is a chance for a good haul of points for the Portuguese driver, who we don't see much of. He just goes about his business quite quietly in the midfield of the action. Keeps his nose clean, tries to stay out of trouble, and picks up some solid points in the low reaches of the top 10. But there's a chance here for a bigger result than that. Top 5, top 6 potentially on this strategy. Certainly one to watch, as we now see Sam is now in position to line up the H-Eagle. And I don't think the H-Eagle will be too interested in fighting this. I mean, he's not in the same race as him, as Sam. So you might as well just let him go in the straight and worry about his battle with the guys on the fringes of the points, I would think. I really don't see how this would help the H-Eagle holding up Sam. And obviously it wouldn't help Sam either. So here we go. Will there be any decision to move aside from the H-Eagle? Well, he's not going to lift out the throttle unless Sam can get close enough to have a look up the inside on the brakes. Will Sam force the issue? He has a little look. The H-Eagle doesn't defend, didn't need to, as they go through the chicane and back onto the power. Up through the gears they go. And there's your full telemetry as well. And rich fuel being used by Sam. The H-Eagle also enriched, and still no need to defend. Sam struggling for straight line speed, and the H-Eagle not really losing any time there at all to Sam. And by battling, he's not even battling, he's just driving in front of him with no problem, as RC Googs has now got himself ahead of Theo. So there he goes, up into the top 6. Can he now set his sights on Iceman next, who's running in 5th at the moment, 5.8 seconds up the road. It certainly will be one to watch as that gap will come down. But look at this, Sam really now getting close to the H-Eagle as Diego Killer sits on new fastest lap. Curly Wurly, by the way, for anyone wondering, did just pick up a time penalty, a 3-second time penalty, so he's going to be under pressure from Sam as the laps tick by. But Sam at the moment unable to do anything about the H-Eagle on those super softs ahead of him. What about this time as they go through turn 2 and now up the hill through turn 3 now? Dirty air will play its part. Sam running a little bit wider as a result, but now he's got to try and set this up perfectly. Down the back straight, open up the DRS, use that Mercedes power unit to perfection and make a move. So out of the corner he goes, down the long straight they go, one of the longest on the calendar. Up through the gears, DRS is open now on the back of that Mercedes car. As you can see, Iceman shadowing them in the background. Is he this time going to make a move on the H-Eagle? Is he going to try and force the issue up the inside? He is going to try and force it. He locks up, and the H-Eagle again doesn't find the need to get really that defensive. What about this time? Up through the gears again. DRS once again opens up. Or does it? Yes, it does, belatedly, but it does open for Sam, the Frenchman, on the attack of the German. Is he going to dive up the inside of the Ferrari? He is this time. Is he through? It looks like he is. And Sam finally clears the H-Eagle on his 13-lap old super soft tyres and moves up into 3rd position. And now he will set about the hunt of Curly Wurly, who, of course, by the way, has a 3-second time penalty. So now, can Iceman do anything about H-Eagle? I want to try and dispatch him quickly, because if he can dispatch him quickly, he can continue to pressurise Sam. So it would make perfect sense. We don't expect to see the H-Eagle in until around lap 17 or 18, so ideally he needs to get this move done very, very soon. What about into turn 1? Not close enough, never really renowned for being in overtaking position on the racetrack. What about now? Up the hill through turn 2. And now into turn 3, 7th gear through here, 170 miles an hour. But not close enough to the H-Eagle. And he's going to have to try and do what Sam did. Complete the move on one of these 2 straights that are about to follow in this middle sector. Now we've lost Gemso from the race. Oh! On the inside of the hairpin. tries Iceman. Oh, that was cheeky. Never worked out. Thankfully, the front wing remains intact. And Iceman will try again. The DRS open on that McLaren Honda. Pushing and pushing its way onto the back of the Ferrari. They go side by side. Is Iceman through? It looks like he is. He pushes his way past the Ferrari and up into 4th place. And again, the H-Eagle doesn't fight it too hard. There's no need to. He's not in a race with these guys. And up into 4th place goes Iceman. The H-Eagle basically handed him the inside. And through went Iceman up into 4th position. The H-Eagle down to 5th. And now RC Googs will be hunting him down. They've got some yellow flags out on the racetrack. I don't know why. Oh, that was it there. Jameso, yeah, his car gone into the garage. I think he's pulled off to the right hand side of the track and has had enough. So we've lost 2 Dutch drivers from the Grand Prix. Jameso and Flores out early doors. Not at all the ideal weekend for those guys out of the race. So the brain down the back end there. He's 13th now. Pit Matt 12th. Guy 11th. Cherry Tupai on a recovery drive at the moment, battling with Elite Game Boy. Not sure how Cherry Tupai ended up so far down the field. Not really entirely sure how that happened, but he is down there battling with Elite Game Boy, and what could have been a perfect weekend for him, a real chance to score big points, has turned into a bit of a nightmare, and now he's looking at the fringes of the top 10. Force India's weekend has unravelled. Cherry Tupai with 1 point, Pit Matt outside the points and not looking likely of getting any at the moment. What about Davidos? We'll keep an eye on him as he chases Theo. We'd like to try and clear Theo quite quickly and try and keep his teammate at arm's length. I think he's too late for that. He's already about 5 seconds up the road from Davidos as RC Googs, his teammate. He would be looking to try and come back at his teammate later on as the super softs start to die on the Portuguese driver, but right now it doesn't seem like happening, and Davidos, if he wants to do that, needs to clear his way through. And now Cherry Tupai has a look up the inside of Elite Game Boy. That's very close. Almost touching wheels. Not what about in the exit? Elite Game Boy parks his car beautifully. Stops all the momentum Cherry Tupai had coming out of the corner, but still, DRS and the Mercedes power unit in the back of that Force India. Will it be enough to catapult him up into 9th position? It looks like it is. He outbrakes him. Does he now have the line? Oh, he does. Beautiful. Well done, Cherry Tupai. Outbrakes Elite Game Boy. Looked very confident in the brakes and moves up into 9th position. Pardon me, beautiful move from Cherry Tupai, and through he goes into 9th place. Lovely stuff, enjoyed that. Elite Game Boy defended well through the first chicane and then just did not have the confidence in the brakes to hold off Cherry Tupai, and the Force India soared past up into 9th place. Now we can hunt down this little private scrap that Theo and Davidos have been having. Who can come out on top here? Will it be the Greek driver or will it be the Pole at Davidos? AOR F2, well represented, of course, by many nationalities across the world, and not just in F2, across all the leagues. The Dutch, we've got the Poles, we've got some Portuguese drivers, some Greek drivers, of course the British contingent as well. Great to see the Frenchman Sam in here too, absolutely brilliant. Drivers from all over Europe competing in this league. So here we are, Davidos, this time can he attack Theo and maybe find a way through? The DRS open, badly needed in that Fort Red Bull due to a lack of straight line speed with the Renault power unit. He tries round the outside, brakes very late. That's what Cherry Tupai did, but Theo isn't having any of it. They're banging wheels side by side, the battle for 7th and 8th. Davidos, the Polish driver, determined to find a way through. Theo determined to hold him back. The battle for 7th and 8th. Cherry Tupai will be coming at them like a rocket ship as they continue this battle. Davidos tries to outbrake him. Can he sweep round the outside? He can, and through the Polish driver goes up into 7th place. Theo down to 9th, down to 8th, sorry, and Davidos on a charge, and now he can begin his press of the H-Eagle and his teammate RC Googs. Beautiful stuff from Davidos. He was patient, he waited for his moment. The moment arrived and through he went, and now these two are going to have to worry about the charging Cherry Tupai, because he is coming, as I said, like an absolute rocket ship onto the back of these guys. And well, not only the fact he was much quicker than them in qualifying, he also had incredible race pace. Well, these guys are battling. Of course, you'd expect when they're battling that you would gain in the clean air. And Cherry Tupai now moving himself into contention for possibly a run at 6th, 7th and 8th position. The H Eagle, of course, he has yet to make a pit stop. So we're waiting for him to make a stop. He will come out around the back of the field. I would think he will be making a charge on his ultras to try and get back into the points. But he is, of course, the only man yet to make a stop. And I'll show you that right now in the graphic. Oh, that's the wrong graphic I'm giving you. Apologies. There you go. The only man yet to make a stop is, of course, the H Eagle. We await him in the pits, and his pit stop will drop him, I would think, right outside of the top 10 places. Yeah, it would quite convincingly drop him out of the top 10. But he would, on the ultras, have a chance to come flying back. So that will be a battle to watch as the race unfolds. As we watch Theo again try to have a look at the back of Davidos, but no way through. Was that RC Googs I seen picking up a 3-second time penalty there? I think it was. So that's not ideal, especially when there's not much between him and the car behind. But on lap 18 out of 28, as I would think, expect to see H Eagle on the pits. I'm going to give you a rundown of the order in a minute, because I think the H Eagle will be in right now, and giving you a rundown when he's about to come into the pits would be pretty much pointless. So here we go, the H Eagle staying out another lap. Wow, surprised at that. I thought he could have come in there and fitted a set of ultras quite comfortably and got to the end, but okay, I'm not going to argue with the Ferrari strategists. I'm just a commentator. So he goes for another lap on those now 18 lap old super soft tyres. What about Theo? Hunting down Davidos again, no way through at the moment. Can he find a way back onto the tail of the Polish driver who dispatched him with a beautiful move down at the end of that second sector a couple of laps ago? Can the Greek driver respond as he tries to move himself into position? Up through the gears he goes. Davidos already moving to the middle of the track there to try and cover his lines. We get a little bit of lag there. Thankfully it's no issues and we're back with you. No major lag there. And Theo not really close enough to challenge, but I've got to say, lads, if you're watching in the stream, feel free to tell me who you think is the driver of the day. Of course, we've still got a long way to go, 10 laps yet to run in this Grand Prix, but you've got to say Curly Worley, sorry, not Curly Worley, Diego Killer, apologies, is looking pretty good for driver of the day at the moment. 12.4 clear out front, pole position as well, really head and shoulders above the rest today, showing some fantastic pace. And on top of that, as you can see, he's got the fastest lap as well, so he's looking to pick up a little Grand Slam this weekend, a hat-trick of pole, fastest lap and the race win. So Diego Killer right now has got to be my driver of the day. Special mention is, well, of course, to Sam, who has revitalised himself this weekend and looked back to his best with that third position at the moment, really starting to show some serious pace. And anyone else that catches the eye, the H Eagle finally does come into the pits now. RC Goods is in a good race, providing he stays there despite his penalties. Who else has performed well? Theo's up 4, so you can argue Theo's done well. Iceman as well, good races all round, but right now I don't think you can argue that Diego Killer is on course for that driver of the day, and the H Eagle now, out with that pit stop, is going to drop outside the top 10 and drops to 13th and the very back of the field. So lap 19 now out of 28. It is Diego Killer in the lead of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Curly Worley is second by 13 seconds back and unable to match the pace of the race leader as the world champion. RC Sam in third, Iceman is fourth, RC Googs is fifth, Davidos running in sixth with Theo in a personal battle with him in seventh, Cherry Tupai sits in eighth, Elite Game Boy ninth, Guy the Guy holding on to that final point at the moment in 10th. Then it's Pitmat 11th, the Brain in 12th, and the H Eagle 13th now on Ultrasofts, charging back at them. But the battle to watch right now is Pitmat versus the Brain. Here we go then, both running on soft tyres. You can't help but feel they're battling pointlessly, because the H Eagle will be on them pretty soon to take those positions away from them. But the Brain unable to find a way past Pitmat. A bit of a forgettable weekend for these two. They've been running well lately in the points, and today it's just not worked out for them. A scrappy race, and yeah, back to the drawing board for the final round in Singapore. They'll be hoping to go out with a bang, but Pitmat and the Brain fighting over the crumbs at the bottom of the order this afternoon. Not at all what they'd been hoping for when they arrived here on Wednesday afternoon. And yeah, points look like a tall order, and the Brain just compounds the misery, picks up a 3-second time penalty in his race is not looking like one of his better ones. But what about Theo? Let's keep an eye on him and Davados. That little battle, a personal duel, has been going on all race long, and they're trying to catch RC Googs, but they don't have the pace. And I have to say, that strategy that RC Googs and Diego Killer have chosen seems to be the ideal one. So if anyone's watching this and they've got league races coming up in Abu Dhabi, maybe that ultra soft to super soft strategy is the one to go for, because right now RC Googs and Diego Killer are making it work a treat and really showing some serious pace, particularly in this second stint, and looking pretty good at the moment. We'll see if they maintain that pace right to the end of the race. Of course, we still have 8 laps to run, but it is looking likely that they will hold on to their leads by quite, or their advantages by quite a considerable margin. Oh, as Theo has the rear end stepping out there in that Ferrari. The Greek driver hoping to improve next season and try and push for a championship challenge. It certainly will be one to watch next season in AOR F2. Such a competitive league with so many great races throughout the season. Silverstone one that sticks out in my mind, where the weather played a part. It was drizzling all race long. It was a toss-up between inters and dries, and then that day it was the case that the inters were not the way to go. It was a harder compound of dry tyres that worked, and over, I think, one from the very back end of the field and won that day in some style. That is probably my F2 race of the season. While we have time to reflect on what has been a great season, we might as well reflect on some of the better races of the season. But before we go any further on that, let's have a look at the brain. 4/10 back from Pitmat now, but the H-Eagle has caught them rapidly, and I wouldn't be surprised if he passes the brain before the brain can even think about having a way past Pitmat. As I say that though, the brain now moving right into position on Pitmat. He realises if he wants to stay ahead of the H-Eagle, he has to pass Pitmat. Now the two Germans have been getting involved in a bit of action in recent weeks, these two. They've been battling hard, the brain and the H-Eagle. As Pitmat gets defensive, the brain goes to the outside. Can he sweep right round the outside of Pitmat? He breaks very late, and he can. It looks like it. Pitmat clouts the curve, and the brain just waltzes past him as if he's not even there. So now the H-Eagle will think about having a look at Pitmat. Pitmat tries to respond to the brain. They're all battling over the wooden spoon. Not even a point at stake here. As they hit the brakes, and the brain stays ahead of Pitmat, who stays ahead of the H-Eagle. Now the H-Eagle really does need to clear these guys quickly if he wants to be serious about scoring points, because right now he is not anywhere near Guy the Guy, around what, about 4 seconds off Guy the Guy in 10th, and only 6 laps to catch him. So he's got to clear these two quickly to make this late charge on Ultras worthwhile. And he's right behind Pitmat. He's all over him like a rash. Goodness me. Can he now make the move into the penultimate turn? No, he can't. What about the final turn as the brain runs wide in front of us? No, he can. And the H-Eagle remains frustrated behind Pitmat and the brain as they cross the start-finish line to begin lap 22 out of 28. You got to fancy the H-Eagle. Oh, the brain's wide again. A couple of mistakes from the brain, and now Pitmat is right on him again. Look at them. The three of them are battling over the wooden spoon. That's how competitive AOR F2 is on the PS4. They're all battling like crazy over any position, whether there's points at stake or not. The brain fending them off still, despite running wide in the final corner and the first corner. Runs wide again through the hairpin, and now Pitmat is right in position behind him. Here we go, down the straight they go. These two suffered punctures on the final lap in Brazil last week. Well, they suffer the same fate again. The H-Eagle shadowing them, but again, very surprisingly, unable to use that tyre advantage to find a way through. What about this time? Does he have that extra traction coming out of that corner? No, he doesn't. And Pitmat looks to be threatening the brain, in fact, when the brakes are then to there. Whoa, late lunge there from the H-Eagle. They both run wide, and penalty for Pitmat, and that will be disappointing for him. It all just kicked off there. The brain, well, he ran wide, Pitmat ran off, and the H-Eagle took the corner, but Pitmat picked up the penalty, and the H-Eagle is now virtually ahead of those guys. But I think he's ran out of time to get into the points, because he's losing all sorts of time to Guy the Guy here, and this looks like a pointless charge on the Ultra Softs for the H-Eagle. He'll be slightly disappointed. but it's just not going to be for him as RC Googs now picks up another time penalty. His great race might be unravelling here. He does still have 11 seconds on Davidos, and take his penalties into account. He should still be in front as the pit mat runs wide now. The H-Eagle again tries his best to give him the wooden spoon, but at the moment he cannot do it. What about a little lunge up the inside? No, and still holding that position, his pit mat. Oh, what about now up the inside? Pit mat runs wide, and this is the chance. They bang wheels. The H-Eagle tries again and again. Is left, hung out to dry and told, nope, you can stay at the back of the pack. I don't fancy dropping down into last place, mate. You can hold on in those ultra soft tyres to it. But what about this time? Surely pit mat's under pressure. A little switch back from the H-Eagle. They're locking wheels now, and still no way through, and the frustration continues to build for the H-Eagle. What about this time? DRS open once again. Pit mat defends hard to the inside. All over 12th and 13th places. What about round the outside for the H-Eagle? He's trying everything, and again pit mat breaks late and holds him off, determined to keep him behind, and it's great to watch. Pit mat making sure that he earns his wage from the Force India team. VJ Malia, there might not be any points at stake, but he'll be punching the air. Delighted to see his driver working for his money, and effectively working for his job, because you're never safe in AOR in any league. You can get dropped out quite quickly if you're not performing, and the pit mat is doing his best to cling on. Oh, H-Eagle, late lunge up the inside. That's going to end in tears, is it not? They bang wheels. Oh, very nearly tears. Lining up the rear tyres there, the H-Eagle, and now drops off pit mat once again. But let's go have a little look further up the field. You've got Diego Killer, 4 laps from the finish, absolutely sauntering along to victory out front, cruising out in the lead. The Dutchman in control. Curly Wurly 15 seconds back. I don't really think he's going to be too bothered. He knows this championship is wrapped up, and he's running a well-controlled race in second. Sam in third, finally showing what he's capable of. Iceman in fourth. Then it's RC Googs behind him in fifth. That looks like a little duel to watch come the end of the race. That'll be one to watch. Davidos in sixth, then Theo in seventh, continuing their race-long battle. Cherry Tupai 8th, and Elite Game Boy now onto the tail of him in 9th. Not quite close enough though, I don't think, to make a move. Well, Elite Game Boy send one up the inside, too early for that, and no way through for Elite Game Boy. So he's 9th, County Guy 10th, the Brain 11th, Pit Mat 12th, and the H-Eagle again frustrated in 13th place behind Pit Mat, who sits 12th. Goodness me. What a defensive drive this is from Pit Mat. I'm not sure if he's Chiellini in 12th position or Pit Mat. Is it one of the Juventus defenders? I'm not sure. They just incredible defending from Pit Mat. Defending like an absolute maniac. The H-Eagle tries it again, coming out of the hotel section through the penultimate corner and into the final. Will he send another one up the inside? No, he will not, and he stays stuck in that 13th place. What about this one into turn 1? Is he now in position to lunge at the inside? Pit Mat goes to defend, so that will give the H-Eagle a good run out of here, you would think. Oh no, not quite. Slight oversteer and unable to do it, but he still has the momentum. Tucked up behind Pit Mat, going through turn 3, down the hill into the braking zone, and Pit Mat still in front, but getting a little bit more vulnerable. Side by side now, the fans in the arena section on their feet as they go side by side for the hairpin. Pit Mat under pressure now. The H-Eagle gets himself alongside, and surely this time he's going to get this move done. Is he going to maybe hold off in that DRS perhaps and try to switch back to the inside? No, he's going to be forced to go the outside all the way down the straight. Can he finally do it? He can at long last. Whoop whoop, hallelujah. He goes through up into 12th place, or does he? Pit Mat not interested despite the age of those tyres and giving up. Look at that, pushed right up towards the wall. All the time you have to leave it a space. Try telling Pit Mat that. He dives up the inside of the H-Eagle and through he goes. Space or not, he dives back in front. The H-Eagle comes back again though on the inside. Unbelievable racing. It might be down at the back of the pack, it might be for nothing, but it's absolutely brilliant stuff in AOR F2, down at the foot of the field. Brilliant to see, and Pit Mat, well, How's that for bravery? Not even worth challenging any bravery at all. Not even worth putting your life at risk. Not even a point at stake. Try telling him that. Because he is a racer, he's a driver, and he's determined for every position, whether it's worth a point or not, to fight for it. And the H-Eagle, once again, is left wondering what he has to do to pass this force in there. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So what about now? They go climbing up through the gears through turn 3 again. And now down on the brakes for turn 4. Pitmat again holds on to that advantage. Can the H-Eagle finally do something? He's got to try and get himself on the inside at the end of this straight. And finally complete the move for good. I don't think he's going to do it this time though. Pitmat trying and trying and trying to hold him off, and it looks like again he's going to do it without any trouble this time on the brakes. H-Eagle has trouble braking and stopping himself from hitting the back of Pitmat. They're lighting up the front brake discs. What about this time? Pitmat defending again to the inside of the racetrack. The H-Eagle just doesn't have the straight line speed. He doesn't. Or does he? No, he doesn't. And he tries the outside, and again he's denied by Pitmat, who continues to infuriate him. Absolutely incredible how he's holding him off. It really is. H-Eagle trying again. Pitmat again saying no. What a battle. Time for a quick rundown of the order. We've lost Gemso, of course. I'll give you the retirements. Gemso, Flores, Caribbean Crush and Dan the Snake all out of this Grand Prix. The two Saubers out. A bit of a frustrating weekend for those guys. But out in front, in control on the penultimate lap of this race is Diego Killer. He is heading for a fine victory this afternoon. He leads this race by 16 seconds or 15 and a half seconds to Carnivale in second, your world champion. So basically just turning up now, getting ready to pick up his award at the end of the season of the World Championship trophy. Racing for pride. He's quite happy with that championship. Not interested in fighting Diego Killer today. Look after the car, pick up another 18 points and take a nice second place on the podium. Sam running well in third. Certainly improving massively than his recent performances have shown. Now actually putting in a performance that matches his championship position. Then it's Iceman in fourth, with RC Googs keeping him honest in fifth, but with penalties, importantly. Davidos alone in sixth, or not alone. He's got Theo still chasing him down, breathing down his neck, but again, not close enough for any real move. So they're battling over sixth and seventh. Then it's Cherry Tupai in eighth, with Elite Game Boy shadowing him in ninth, and Guy the Guy safe with that final point. The Brain 11th, Pitmat 12th, and again, the H-Eagle. This is getting ridiculous. Trying again on Pitmat. Brakes very late this time, round the outside. Can he do it? Nope. Pitmat holds on. Is it Pitmat driving a Formula 1 car or a bus? Because he's parking it in all the right places. It's as wide as the River Clyde. Absolutely incredible defending. Wow. Absolutely brilliant from Pitmat. As Theo and Davidos have traded places, I think. And yes, they have. Theo, heartbreak for Davidos. Theo's got himself ahead up into sixth place at the start of this final lap. So Davidos, who had such a good start to this race, then had the front wing issues, dropped down through the field, isn't even going to get a top 6 out of this. Drops to 7th. And well, a disaster this afternoon in the end for him. 6 points is really not the haul he was hoping for. Let's be serious. Can he rectify it though? Going down the straight, Theo in front of him. Can he do anything about it? We're going to have to go to Diego Killer in a few moments' time, who is in that final sector. Here he is, Diego Killer, with an expert performance. Really was something to behold. Is this a drive worthy of a seat in AOR F1 next season? Well, if we can do it on a regular basis, it's hard to bet against it. Here comes Diego Killer, lighting up the night sky here in Abu Dhabi. Currently's a champion, but Diego might be his closest rival in the years to come. He wins in Abu Dhabi in style, pole position and the victory, and maybe even the fastest lap. Let's have a look. I think, no, the H-Eagle got it. No, unfortunately there was no Grand Slam, there was no hat-trick for Diego Killer, but it is still a driver of the day performance from him, in my opinion. He is the winner. Carnivale home second, he's satisfied with that. Sam is over the line third, and Iceman is going to beat RC Googs to fourth, who should hold on to fifth despite his penalties. Then it will be Theo ahead of Davidos with that late move in sixth. Davidos 7th. Cherry Tupai holding off Elite Game Boy for 8th and 9th. So yeah, there you go, across the line. Theo actually up to 6th, Elite Game Boy 7th, Cherry Tupai 8th. Davidos down to 9th with his penalties. A forgettable day for him. And Guy the Guy, well, that's Davidos' card. That sums up his weekend. And the guy gets the final point in 10th. But there you go, fantastic afternoon for Diego Keller. Strolled it, literally strolled it out front. My driver of the day, an expert performance. And as I said moments ago, is it a performance worthy of a seat in the AOR F1 next season? Quite possibly. He put Curly in the shade today. Whether Curly was at full tilt or not, I'm not sure. But let's take nothing away from the Dutchman Diego Keller. A fantastic performance, race victory, pole position, and totally dominant. He's praised the champagne. Curly Whirly's satisfied as well. Sorry, it's not champagne, it's rosewater here in Abu Dhabi. Great performances from them. And of course Sam as well, getting himself back on form and on the podium, showing his championship position, showing where he is in the championship, showing why he is that quick and where he is. And there you go, finishing 3rd. But there you go, there is your Abu Dhabi Grand Prix race results. It's Diego Keller who wins in style. Pole position and the victory. Curly Whirly in 2nd, no answer for him. Sam home 3rd, no penalties for him, but the only man in the field without them. Then it was Iceman who came home in 4th. RC Goons with a solid performance in 5th. Theo as well gets a big shout out for 6th from 11th place. Elite Game Boy was 7th, it was 8th for Cherry Tupai. Davidos was 9th, and the final point went to Guy the Guy in 10th. Well, unlike many of the other leagues in AOR, it is not the final round of this World Championship. Be sure to join us next week in AOR F2 as we go to the Singapore Grand Prix for the final round of the championship. But before I go, just want to say some big AOR news coming up next week. We've got a big announcement coming up with some potential sponsors perhaps in the offing for next season. And let me just say this, I'm pretty hyped for those announcements coming up, so be sure to be following Apex Online or Apex On Racing on Twitter at Apex On Racing, and yep, you'll see those announcements. Of course, keep up to date with all the action on the forums on Facebook as well. And yeah, there's a big announcement coming up, and yeah, the collective feeling is amongst the commentators and amongst the AOR owners is that we're pretty hyped about it. So yeah, maybe that's a clue for you guys. But anyway, be sure to look out for that on Twitter, and of course join us next week for the final round of this championship. I think it's the only league that does have one final round in Singapore to come. But today it was all about the brilliant performance of Diego Keller. He won in style. Curly 2nd, Sam 3rd. Good night folks, it was an enjoyable Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.